What it do, Bing Crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas back with another episode of Coffee with Friends. We're now on season 2 of Game of Thrones. We're welcome back with our Game of Thrones crew, our friends. We have Mr. Brendan White, Mr. E-Man Perez, and Miss.
Whoa.
And so we're gonna react to season 2, give a recap of our thoughts, our reactions, kind of our overall what we think about season 2 of Game of Thrones. But we do want to kind of do some quick life updates to everybody. Anybody have anything exciting happen to them over the past, I think, 30, 45 days since our last time probably 2 months. So 60 days since we last filmed. Even though this aired, the first one aired 2 weeks ago.
Yes, since our last podcast, I got a new job since then. So I've been working there for the past month and a half or so. It's been good.
What do you do?
I went from machine operator to warehouse processor. So I managed the inventory there, organize everything.
Gotcha. Better pay, better hours?
Better hours, better pay, yeah. Better environment. It's great.
Right. Better pizza?
Better pizza.
We haven't yet,
Well, I mean, it's better ingredients,
better
ingredients for pizza. Oh, yeah. Anybody else anything exciting? E-Man got a new job.
I also got a new job.
Man, everybody's
I've been starting. It's in a couple days. I'll start this week, but I went from teaching pre-K and now I'm just a nanny, which is a different shade of pace of what I really needed.
I feel like that's the exact same job.
It's not. Having 12 kids versus 1 is a big jump, and it's a big difference.
How so? I'm confused. How's that different?
Because I had 12 4-year-olds.
Yeah, so it's a harder job. Now it's easier.
Yeah, now it's easier.
Okay,
12 to 1.
That's what my thought was. I'm it seems like it's easier now for you.
No, you said it was the same.
Well, yeah, you didn't say the same.
Yes,
but
sounds
like the same job.
It's the same job in my opinion because you're taking care of kids. That's what I meant by the same. But yeah, it's an easier job because you're going from 12 to 1. I agree.
Yeah.
You said teaching before?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So have you got your family yet?
Yeah, I met them. They're really sweet, and they're a Christian family too, so that makes me feel a lot better.
Nice.
About working with them. Yeah. That's
pretty cool. I've never babysit, or I am when it comes to kids, I'm the worst. I know nothing about kids because I didn't grow up around kids. I'm a great I play with when I'm with people that have kids, I play with their kids and I'm fun, I'm a fun uncle. But
mm-hmm.
I don't know anything. If you told me to take care of a baby, it would live, but I'm okay, what do I do with this? I don't know. I don't know the basics about children. I've never changed a diaper in my life. There's lots of I've never done. So for me, kids are a mystery.
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually know how to take care of kids, including people that have kids, which is so funny.
What are you saying?
I'm right on. Whenever I was growing up, everyone was young and nobody had kids. Now I'm an adult, everybody's having kids. I'm bro, I don't know what to do with your kids.
I remember the first time I ever held I've never held a newborn. I'm saving that experience of holding a newborn for my own kid when I have a kid in the future. But I've held kids that are 2, 3, 4 months old, and I hold them and they're hold the head and do all this stuff. And I'm just I'm juggling this baby. Yeah, for me, kids, I love when kids are at least 4 months old because they can make facial expressions and they can giggle. 4 months and younger than that, I'm get that away from me. But over 4 months, I'm this is when they can this is fun. I can toss them up. It's not scary because everybody's oh my god. It's no, they're kind of managing, especially 6 months, 6-month-olds to really 2 because those are still the fun years. I mean, 2 years old still they're terrible, but I can get rid of them. You know what I mean?
I can get rid of them.
That's facts. Except when you have your own. Well, speaking of which, brings me to what's going on in my life. I've been babysitting for 10 years almost now. They get older and then they want more. But no, yeah. So y'all already know I got daughters. But no.
I don't think it's considered babysitting if it's your kid though.
Yeah.
I give her. I gotta watch her till her daddy come around. So I switched to a multi personality disorder sometimes. Like, girl, I ain't your daddy. No, seriously though. I actually started a job. I was on vacation, sort of, kind of, not really, but I was looking, for work. Found a job, but not completely pleased with it, so I'm still looking. So,
Nice.
still in transition in it.
Everybody getting jobs, man. I didn't do nothing fun. Summer's basically like y'all have a fun summer. Summer's basically over.
Yeah.
Man, everybody's updates is like, I got a job. It's like, damn, was it that tough for y'all out here in these streets?
The life
Yeah,
this is part of life.
I did go
still
see
had
Robb.
some fun. Still had some fun. Hanging
Let's
with
talk
the
about the
crew.
fun stuff. What'd you do this? I guess that's my fault for not framing the question right. What'd you do this summer that was fun? Everybody got a new job. Fantastic. Is there anything? Jobs aren't fun. So like, did you guys do anything that was fun? In the past 60 days.
I did go see Robb.
You went where?
So did you go anywhere?
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. I went to go see Russ.
Ooh, okay. How was that? What was that experience like?
It was kind of crazy because it was like a little intimate setting, and it was like an album movie kind of thing. So we were in a theater and stuff, and he had his whole family there, and yeah, it was just kind of cool just to be in that environment. And then there was like kind of an after thing, but that wasn't as fun.
Do you know him? Like, how did you get access to an intimate environment with a musical artist?
So, been a fan for a really long time before he even really blew up. But if you pre-ordered like a CD that he had or a vinyl, then you got access to you got selected in a drawing for the private event, and he had it in San Antonio. So we were like, yeah, for sure.
Nice. Congrats. That's awesome.
You got selected. Look at you. To God be the glory.
Has everybody here been to a concert before? Like an actual concert?
Mm-hmm. No.
Me neither.
Yeah. You have an email?
I've never like been to. I take that back. I've been to a concert. I've seen Day One. There's a great band called Day One.
I know who did.
There's a great band called Day One. I've seen. Apparently, I'm their biggest fan because I've seen them live at least 20 times. At least 20. So that's that. E-Man, you've seen Day One live too. Brendan, why you've seen Day One live as well?
Yeah.
So I guess technically I have, but like artists like that I actually enjoy, like Lil Wayne or Drake or anybody. I've never been to a concert. Like I've never paid for a concert. I've always gone to like local shows or something like that. It was free.
Yeah, I've gone to some live concerts.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, that was one of them. Earth, Wind, and Fire. See, I told y'all, bully.
The Gap Band.
I'm younger than him, but he tries to act like I'm older than him.
The Gap
Everybody,
Band.
for the record, I'm 29. Saban is 30.
The Gap Band. What else?
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye.
Isley Brothers.
Roger Zapp.
Now what's a hip hop, a hibbit to the hip hop? We don't stop rocking.
Cool in the Game?
That's not Cool in the Game.
It's not?
No, the hip hop, the original rap. Like, let me look it up. Keep talking though.
Who is it? Yeah, I don't know who that is because I'm younger than you, so I wouldn't know. But no, yeah, I went to concert when I was, in my teens, which wasn't that long ago, as we've made so clear. But also, I had the pleasure of seeing like a neo soul concert, Erykah Badu and Music Soul Child. I didn't pay for that.
Rappers Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. This was your favorite.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. But that was definitely in the 90s. When I was only in my teens.
Right.
So, but no, I mean, like Erykah Badu and Music Soul Child in concert, that was something to see. Because they both are like high energy performers and they set the vibes. That was good. I've seen The Roots in concert twice. And and I saw Outkast. Fire. So yeah, I've been to some good concerts.
Nice, man. It's pretty cool. I would like to point out that you said in the 90s you were in your teens, right? In your teens. What you said. So your words specifically. I was born in 92. Then I was close to my teens.
You're not you were not born in 92.
I was nowhere close to my teens.
You're older than me.
Oh, I just want to point out the semantics that you laid out to the people. You said in the 90s
you're older than me.
I was not. I was in my teens in the 2000s.
I was winking though. I was winking.
No. Anyways. Yeah. You may do anything fun, bro? Anything crazy?
Not crazy, but I went to a couple of baseball games. And then yesterday went to my first FC Dallas game. I think they play Atlanta United.
How was that?
There was more energy than what I expected from an MLS game, and I was laughing the whole time because like the cheers were just, like there was a lot of energy, and there was a little kid like sitting somewhere behind me, and there was a bad call on the field. It was like, "Open your eyes, ref!" And just hearing it from a kid's voice, it was just hilarious. Yeah, man, like it was crazy energy, and then like just watching it live, I'm like, man, there's a lot more action than it is on TV. So it was great. It was a great experience.
Nice. What was the score?
2-2. It should have been 3-2. But there's another bad call where the ref called it offsides, and I was like, bro, that was not offsides. That was a great play by FC Dallas, where they called it offsides, so they took away the goal.
Nice. Very nice.
Is that soccer?
Yeah.
Or football, as most people.
Or football, as most people call it.
Most people in the world call it, only in America. But you know what's crazy? Like people make it's kind of weird though, because British people mostly make fun of Americans for calling soccer, but they invented the term soccer.
That's funny.
It wasn't Americans that invented the term soccer. We just have been calling it that since. But
yeah,
British people invented the term soccer, and then we just carried it over to America.
Talking about football though, we did have our fantasy draft like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So excited for that.
How you feeling? You feel like you're gonna? Do y'all play? Do you like football, Tiara?
I'll watch it, and I know what's going on, but I don't have like a team.
You don't have a team?
No.
Like even a college team?
No, I just be watching.
So not Cowboys or anything?
I mean, I guess by default.
Yeah. Well, E-Man's an Eagles fan. Brandon's
There was one.
E-Man's an Eagles fan. Brandon's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Colts fan. Football, I'm excited for football season. I guess that brings to my life update. Football season is back. That's something I care about. I'm moving, right? I'm moving in here soon. That's only like life update on my end. But football season is back, and I'm so excited. Like I literally drove damn near 3 hours to go watch my favorite team play. Not even a good team. It was just a season opener, and I was like, I want to go watch this game because it's a season opener. Bought some merch, bought a new hat, bought a freaking shirt too. Like,
yeah,
it was all free. It was all technically free because after the game, I went to the casino, and I won $250 at the casino. So the $100 I spent on merch and the $80 I spent on a ticket, and even the gas I paid to go up there, all free. So
nice.
Wow.
What'd you play at the casino, bro?
Roulette. That's all we play. Somebody watch that little white ball spin around that circle, man. It's just enticing to me. But yeah, what was that face here?
Because why did you describe it like that?
That's what it is. It's you're watching a little white ball go around these numbers.
No, you're like something about that little white ball. I was like, wait a minute.
Pause. It's an actual. Anyways, pause. I'll take that. But anyways, it's roulette's exciting to me. It's my favorite game to play. Literally, just black and red with numbers, and it's the funniest game. Like poker's cool. I never play poker at the casino, but I'll play poker with friends. Blackjack, I want to try to play blackjack at the casino. I haven't done it yet, but roulette is my game.
See, I'm the opposite. I've played blackjack at a casino. I've never played roulette at a casino.
No, roulette it's the easiest game in the world. And it's the highest odds like to win, but it's the easiest game in the world. So I won $250 And I could have kept on biting, but I was like, nah, I get out of here. So went home. Got home last night, like around. Well, no, I went to Annie's to apartment for a little bit, hung out with everybody that was there playing volleyball, and then went home. So I got home like around 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. But
going back to the roulette, what did you bet on? You bet on black or you bet on red?
I always bet on black.
That's 57. So I actually have a tie to that movie. So the day I was born, or the day like of my birth, like of like my mom going to the hospital, stuff like that, they were at the movies watching Passenger 57, and she was 9 months pregnant, and her like the last line she heard in the movie, she tells me this story for the last 30 years. She's told me this story every single year. The last line she heard in the movie was always bet on black, right? She felt like her stomach got to hurt. She was like, feel like my stomach got to hurt. She went to the restroom. She thought she had to pee. Couldn't find it. She walked to the hall, like the main area. Her water breaks in the lobby, and then they go to the hospital. I'm born, right? So you say always bet on black. I know what movie it is. I've never seen the movie, but my mom's told me the movie quote the past 30 years of my life, and so I always bet on black. Yeah. Just because of the correlations in my life. But no, so I actually have a strategy. It's pretty simple. If you want to go with like you don't have to have a lot of money to win money. But if you want to like win big, yes. But if you want to win like $100, $200, easiest strategy in the world. You have $100 to play with, right? You have 4 chances at this. Take $25, put it on whatever color you want, right? So it's going to be red or black, right? So if you want to bet red, bet red. If you want to bet black, bet black. But you put it on whatever color. When it hits, you get 1 to 1. So you'll get 25 more bucks, right? So now you have $50. So take your $50, and then it's gonna say first 12, second 12, third 12, right? Put your winnings on both of those. So either do first 12, second 12, or second 12, third 12, whatever you want to do, right? And when that hits, like you'll lose $25, but if one of them hits, then you'll triple your money. So you'll have $75. So now you went from $25 to $75, right? You take that 75 stack, take away $25 from that, take the 50, put it back on the color. Put it back on the color. So now you still have your original 100 that you started with. You have $50 you're playing with. You can put down numbers if you want to, press your luck there, or you can take that same 50 and put it back on color, and if it hits, you're now at $100, and then you can do the same split and put it on the 2 different things. That's literally how I go about it, right? It's like a stair step thing, and you can win money. But if you miss, then you're back down to step 0. So
this man out here really, aces of spades out here, and
it's a strategy.
Man right here, MIT strategies and stuff.
No, there's a ton of strategies on roulette. Like I've watched some YouTube videos on roulette. I had a problem about a year ago when it comes to going to the casino. When I had a good paying job, I had a budget. I was like, okay, tithing taken care of, business finances are taken care of, my savings taken care of, everything extra, I can go do whatever I want to do with it. And I used to go to the casino pretty often. So, but I only spent $100. That was like the max I'd go with. It's kind of dumb, but I'll go. So, anyways, that's my life story, life update. All right, now we're gonna move on to season 2 of Game of Thrones, and I want to start off with initial reactions, right? So, season 1 we talked a lot about. Do you feel like this season 2 was better than season 1, or like what do you guys think about overall of like season 2 versus season 1? Like, which one did you like better? If that makes sense.
Me personally, I like season 1 a little bit more. I think this was just like kind of a filler setup season. I mean, there was some action, but I felt like there was a lot of like idling as well.
Idling, okay.
Yeah, same. I think like season 2 was setting up for something else to come, and whereas season 1 you're introduced to all the new characters, so it's all new stuff. And season 2, you're still getting to know the characters, but there's not a lot of movement going on.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Season 1 was much more exciting to me.
Really?
It's just because it was I mean, for me, of course, if you remember from the last podcast, this is my first time watching Game of Thrones. So like everything was new, everything was exciting. So like it stood out more because I mean it's like when you talk about plot structure, well, this is the rising action. This is where we're getting all that the bit of information. There's some foreshadowing going on that I didn't even know about. Y'all know about because y'all seen it all before. So I haven't picked up on all of it. But season 2 was I think it's kind of just like okay, now we've gotten to the climax, and now we're gonna kind of bring in the overall plot structure of the series. Now we're going down to the resolution. So season 1 stood out more to me.
I mean, we're not close to resolution. By the way, we're not even close.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Like,
I'm like, there's a lot of stuff still needs to happen. But no, I like season 2 more because we got our first battle. Like that for me, like the Battle of Blackwater Bay. That I love seeing like when they threw like the wildfire or whatever like on the ships. And I'd say people burning is like a good thing, but like I enjoy it because season 1 to me was just so much like, oh, this is this character and this is his character, here's his backstory, and I mean obviously you get like Ned dying and stuff like that, but like it felt like everything was so structured, and then now like everybody like you see the spider webs like starting to branch out even more. Like everybody's storyline is starting to like everybody's getting their own specific storyline, right? And actually, as I was like listening to you guys talk, I told you guys we go episode to episode, but I think it would be better just to talk about each individual character and like overall their part in the show this season. I think that's how I want to do it. So this is me pivoting live into how we're going to do this, right? So, do you guys want to start with the Starks? Do you guys want to start with the Lannisters, right? Or do you want to start with the Baratheons?
Let's start smaller. I think the Baratheons probably.
Yeah.
So this is a season where we're introduced to Stannis, right, for the first time. So we get to actually meet Stannis Baratheon. Obviously, Renly was in the kingdom before things with the shit. But Stannis Baratheon, we're introduced to him and his character, and he understands like he gets the Raven from. I don't know why Ned felt the need to like send only him a Raven. Maybe it's just the show writers, doing that or whatever. But it was kind of dumb. Like he was like, "Yeah, I'm the only person that got this Raven. If he had sent this to everybody, he'd still be alive." It's like, yeah, of course he should have sent this to every freaking body. I don't know why he sent it just to you. But Stannis is an interesting character because like I don't know, he has the tactics, but he didn't have the men. Like I don't know. What you guys thought on Stannis? Because for me, I thought Renly would have been a way better king or person to go like after the capital versus Stannis. But obviously Stannis does like a whole like witchcraft, bullcraft that I was like, what the hell? Like rewatching the baby being born.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But what you guys' thoughts on Stannis? I talked a lot, but like what are you guys' thoughts on Stannis?
So for me, Stannis, I think Stannis is a great military mind.
Yeah.
But as far as being king, is like he doesn't have like he's so rigid. Like, hey, if you don't do this, you're an enemy. Like whenever he could have made alliances with the Starks, but he decided not to because the Starks wanted their own kingdom. So it's like, hey, if you're not gonna bend the knee to me, then you're an enemy. I don't want an alliance with you. And I'm like, bro, like you're fighting the same people, So it didn't make sense to me. But I don't think he would have been a good king just because he's so black and white. It's like you do this or you're against me.
Yeah.
So,
well, even though he lost the Battle of Blackwater Bay, he's still trying to gain the throne, right? You saw him talk about that. He was really pissed because he thought he was supposed to win that battle based off what the witch is telling him. The red, what is it called? The red lady is what they call her.
Yeah.
And so so she's an interesting person too. But you're about to say, Tiara, you had something to say?
Oh, I just say I really don't like Stannis. Like at first when they were talking about him in season 1, I was like, okay, like maybe like I guess because we didn't know a lot about him. But in season 2, like the first thing he is like turning his back on his old gods, and they're like burning all the stuff, and he's already like entangled with this woman to try and like cheat to win. Yep. So like already he probably didn't have like such a pure heart that I saw. Not that Renly had a pure heart either, but it was more like kingly because he took into more things into account instead of being more rigid, like Eman just said, and being like, it's either this or nothing. And then she like tricks him into trying to have a son, and then it really wasn't.
Well, no, that wasn't a trick though. That wasn't a trick. Like he knew what was going to happen.
Did he?
Yeah, the way that went down, like yes, he knew that because remember, so I was going to talk about the two characters around him, which is the Red Woman and Sir Davos. Sir Davos is a real one, but Sir Davos was like, I want to talk to you about like what happened in that cave. Like he wasn't going to know what was happening in that cave. What you about to say?
Well, I was just wondering, like, okay, I guess you're right, because when they were in the at the kind of the strategy table, and I think this is after she killed the older man. I forget the older man's name. She made him drink the wine that he was trying to poison her with.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't she said something to him about a son, if I recall right?
She did say, "I'll give you a son for sure."
Yeah. So my thought on Stannis is he is easily influenced, like by her, like way too easily influenced to be a king. You know what I mean? So for me, I saw right away that she's going to be his downfall. I mean, I may be wrong, but I'm like, she's going to be his downfall, you know? And he just like, for whatever reason, you know, he listens to her, you know what I mean? And it's just, is not working out. It's not going to work out for him, in my opinion. And I think, you know, when he had the opportunity to, you know, like E-Man said, make alliance with the Starks, then it wasn't sound decision making for, you know, from someone who is a king to just shun an alliance. Like, you ain't got that many people riding with you, bro. You need some people.
Yeah.
You know, so you just gotta know who the enemy is and who are your allies. Like, and he seems to be, I mean, even with his brother, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to rock with your brother, like you holding on to some old crap. You know what I'm saying? And,
well, he didn't want to rock with his brother because Renly wanted the throne, and he wanted the throne. That's the only reason why he wouldn't like. He was like, you need to side with me because I have the claim to the throne." But Renly's like, "I'm going to be king. I have the people. Like, what are you going to do? Like, I have 100,000 men with me. What are you going to do?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess that's point because technically he is the rightful heir. You know
I mean, he's the second brother. Like he's the second oldest brother.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think he's a bad character. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like he didn't stand out as strong. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, could we have, you know, a stronger presence from him? You know what I mean? Are we going to get to that? Is that part of his art? You know what I mean? I'm interested because that may be part of his art. You know what I mean? We see him kind of go from this easily influenced lord to, you know, a dominating king. I don't know, but he just wasn't. He wasn't the strongest, you know, character to me, and definitely not someone that I would think is going to actually claim the throne. I think it's going to get snatched from him.
There's so many people trying to claim the throne right now. It's so crazy. Like you have Daenerys that wants the throne. You have obviously have Joffrey. You have both Stannis and Renly that want the throne. Robb doesn't want the throne, but yeah, he's still fighting right now to go kill Joffrey. So it's interesting, like all these people that are like battling, and then the Greyjoys, which we'll get to that their lives here in a bit. But yeah, man, I don't know. Stannis was, yes, I agree with what you're saying, man. Like Stannis for sure was just like he was so wishy washy. Like the red woman had his ear, but what I love, so there's two characters around him, right? We talked about the red woman, but she's just a creepy character the entire show. But freaking Sir Davos, bro, like that's like he's a real one. Like he's a former pirate turned aide to Stannis, and I'm like, bro, this Sir Davos is always like he's always spitting truth in his man's ear. That's a guy you can like you want like to ride with you, bro. Like I don't know what is there. Out of those two characters, do you guys have any like strong opinions about either one? Because Sir Davos is like one of my favorite characters.
I wouldn't say Sir Davos is my favorite character, but like he definitely is like one of the good ones. Like if you were to want to start an uprising, I would definitely want him in charge of like many fleets for sure.
Well, even that, like Sir Davos is the aide that you want because he's gonna tell you the stuff that you don't want to hear, but you because it's gonna help you. You know, like it's gonna help you out in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with that too. Like he's that ride or die friend that you need. Like he's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, when you think of it, like in modern day, the presidency and the cabinets. Well, you're supposed to have cabinet members who are going to give you sound advice in different areas, whether it's military, whether that's domestic or foreign affairs, all that kind of stuff. So like they're supposed to be objective, and like Sir Dallas is. I mean, he is definitely an objective aide and he advisor. And like you say, the fact that he has this background as a pirate, which you could kind of equate that to a military strategy and whatnot. He has those skills, and so it's like he is a real one. You know what I'm saying? He gonna keep it real with you, and like when he saw that baby being born, he's like, "Whoa, wait a minute now. This chick ain't what it."
Bro, that baby boy, that scene when the baby's like the thing's like crawling out. I literally I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Bro.
I was like, that is a demon. I don't want any part of it.
Exactly. That's what I said. She's a demon. She's a demon, first of all. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's giving birth to a demon. Like,
yeah, bro. I was like, what in the world am I watching right now?
It was crazy.
I remember like the thing, the shadowy like thing stabbing Renly, and I can transition to Renly. But like I don't remember that scene where she's giving birth. So I was like, what is going on here?
I remembered it, but I just forgot like how intense it was. I was like, wait a minute. I think I missed something here. It was crazy.
They have a lot of scenes where it's like that. It's like just randomly intense for no reason. Like it's like why are you holding on to the scene? But it does create that emotion and that like feeling of like, ooh, like geez, that looks like it hurts or something like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. Like I knew they did the do, and I knew she had mentioned I could give you one, but I didn't think she was like right there. Like, so when that moment happened and she, I thought she was about to try and, I thought she was going to kill Saddam. Yeah, I thought she was going to seduce him and ultimately kill him because she wanted him out the picture because he is, a sound advisor. But she did that, and then that belly there, and I'm like, okay. And then that thing started smoking. I was like, this is some bad, And so that demon started coming out. I was like, whoa, what is this? What in the world?
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it, like it blew my mind. And we, of course, in the next episode, we saw kind of what the demon does. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you can talk about. I mean, we're not going episode by episode right now, so you can talk about like everything that happens.
I mean, so like when he comes in and kills
Renly.
His brother. What's the brother name again?
Renly.
Yeah. When he comes in and kills him, that demon thing comes and kills him.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it takes the shape of Stannis too. Like if you watched it and you saw it, you like
it was. Yeah. I didn't like notice it the first time I watched it, but like when I rewatched it yesterday, I was like, I knew it had the shape of a figure in a man that looked familiar, but I didn't place it as Stannis. But yeah.
So Renly, so we talk about Renly too. So Stannis' character is kind of like meh. Like he loses the Battle of Blackwater, which was tragic because I thought finally like Cersei and Lannisters would be out of power, and that man loses the battle. I'm like, these people don't die apparently. Like they just stay alive. Like they don't die. But yeah, Stannis' character, whatever. But Renly, bro, I was so pissed when Renly died because I thought even though like he wouldn't have been like people. I don't know if people would accept him because he was gay, but like it was like he would have been the best king. You know what I mean? He had the best like poise about himself. He knew how to play the game well. Like if he had the people supporting him as far as like that. Obviously, they make jokes about him and Sir Loras and whatever, but like he still was like he would have been the best king, in my opinion, because he knew like he came in there. He was like, you need to kill Cersei. They didn't do that, and look what happened then. Then he's like, we're gonna do all these different things, like take Joffrey, all this stuff. He's on the side of Catelyn Stark too. Like there was so much stuff like going for Renly, and I was like, bro, this dude he would have been perfect. Like rewatching it, Renly, I was like, bro, he would have been the perfect king, in my opinion. Right? So I don't know. Tierra made a face. Do you have a negative about Renly?
No, I don't. I share how mad you were because I was rooting for him. I really was rooting for him. And his little wife, the Tyrell girl, she probably shouldn't have been there, but
she held him down. Like she knew that he was gay and he was having sex with her brother, right? She was even like, hey, you want him to come start it off before I finish? I just need a kid. That's literally what she was like. I just need a kid. Like,
yeah,
like,
I know. But also her her motives were exposed. So it's just like, I mean, she was doing that for now until what if someone wanted to overthrow Renly then would she go to them and be trying to seduce them like she did with Joffrey? Or
I don't think so. I think if Renly actually became king, then it would have been a non-issue. But because Renly never was king, her only thing she wanted to be queen. So like Renly had the best promise of being king are the options she had available. So that's why she went with that. But then when he died, she's like, well, he was never really a king, so therefore I was never really queen. I just want to be queen. So then I need to go find how do I be the queen, the real queen, essentially.
Okay, I need help because I missed it. You know, I be missing some things. How did he become Lord? Because that's what he is right now. He's Lord of another town, right? Because, like you said, he was in the capital when Robert was there, right? In season 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
He's a Baratheon, so like the Baratheon family are lords.
So they're all lords, okay?
Yeah, the Baratheon family. The name is like it's like for example, Robb is a lord. Bran is a lord. Rickon is a lord. Like all of them are lords because they are part of the family.
Okay. So when he was in season 1, was he just visiting his brother or something, or like?
He had a title that Robert gave him. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah, he was living in King's Landing.
Yeah, so all royals are born lords and ladies.
Okay.
And he was living in King's Landing because his brother lived there too. He was a king, obviously. So he can. I mean, he could live in the palace like with his brother. But I don't know what I don't remember what title. Wasn't he part of like the small council?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, like in the very beginning when Ned showed up, he was part of the small council too.
Yeah. Because I was just wondering how he, got to kind of his own place to rule or whatever.
What is that? I mean, you're talking about the area where he was just like posted at?
Yeah, when we first see him in season 2.
Yeah.
I think it was just
You say what, Tierra?
I think that was just a camp. Like that wasn't where he lived.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't his land he was at. It was just a camp that he had his men. So he like after things went down King's Landing, he retreated to go and he called up his bannermen and they were like, yeah, we stake your claim to be king. We're gonna go ride south.
Okay, got
He
it.
also had the Tyrells too with him.
Yeah, Tyrells. Who ended up freaking saving Joffrey? Man, pissed me off.
Ugh, like why? Why'd you have to save him?
Because they knew the plan. They had a plan and they worked their plan. Anyways.
Because of Lord Baelish.
Yeah, the man, Lord Baelish, he's so freaking sneaky.
Ugh, I hate that man.
But he knows what he's doing. Like the man, all these people play the game so well. Like it's crazy to see, especially I mean Tyrion this season for sure was move. Like,
yo, you know that's my favorite character.
Like, no. Okay, we got there. We're still
okay, all right.
still in Baratheon clan. We'll get to.
Okay, yeah, we are. So let's talk about. I want to talk about really more in his wife. Yeah, I mean, maybe she has an agenda, whatever, but like, she was not like trying to put on airs and act like, it's supposed to be this way. She didn't know that he was, playing for the other team. She wasn't putting on airs. She knew it. He didn't know she knew it, but she's just like, I mean, let's not play these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious, whatever. Like, if that's what you need, let me know. Because here's what you have to do. You got to give me an heir to your throne. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can keep the throne if you're going to claim it. Like, because otherwise, it's going to die with you when you die. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But she was just like, she was real. You know what I mean? And when Littlefinger came to holler at her, and she was like, what is your take on marriage? I mean, I think she was a real one too. Like, I'm interested in seeing her arc and like her journey, like, cause she. Say that again.
No, I was gonna say what we saw. I mean, if we saw in episode 9 and 10 was that obviously the Tyrells and Tywin came and saved King's Landing's ass because they were getting their butts kicked, and then you see this huge army come out of nowhere and save everybody. So and then after that, you saw King Joffrey choose to wed Marjorie, right? It's like basically like they had this fake thing of like, oh, you can't marry Sansa because her dad's a traitor, and then like Marjorie, the engagement is no because dad's a traitor in God's eyes or whatever. So then so he chooses to. I mean, he's gonna wed Marjorie. That's kind of the the next step with her. So that's kind of what season 3 alludes to, is like they're gonna get married.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, so as far as really in her character, I mean, I liked her. I agree. I think he's like, he has qualities that a king should have. He's good. He would be a strong king in my opinion too. You know what I mean? And I think he's a well-written character too, from just thinking from the theater entertainment perspective, with that background. So I'm interested in seeing what season 3 has to come. You know what I'm saying? So
perfect.
Yeah.
So we move on from the Baratheons that are Stannis and Renly to, I want to go to this character because he just pissed me off this season. Theon Greyjoy. Let's talk about the Greyjoys, right? Let's talk about Yara. Let's talk about Theon. Let's talk about what's the dad's name? I forget his name.
Forgot.
The king. He called himself king. King of the Iron Islands.
King of the Iron.
The Iron Price. Like I it's like, we're salty or whatever. I'm like, what does that mean? But we see Theon. Theon has been by Robb's side this whole time, and then he goes back home because he tells Robb, "Hey, my dad has ships. If we're going to take King's Landing, we need ships, and I'm gonna go back home to my dad. We're gonna get some ships. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna help you out." Right? Goes back home to his dad. His dad disclaims him. First of all, before he even gets to his dad, he's riding a horse with a girl that he doesn't know is a sister. Yeah, that's so weird. Like,
he's so dirty. He's so dirty.
Okay, yes, he's dirty for doing that. But why if you know that's your brother? She knew the whole time that was her brother. Why are you letting your brother grab your boobs and play with your cat? Like, why are you like, what is wrong with you?
No, that was weird.
Bro, like, I was just like, it's a bunch of incest up in here. Like, but you know what? I did not even pick up on it the first time I watched it. I did not pick up on that he was sitting there stimulating, and when he was riding on the horse to the joint, and I'm like, and when I first watched it, of course, I didn't know, when they were on a horse, I didn't know that was his sister.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known. I didn't know either.
Right. So when I saw it this time, I saw him just sitting there massaging that thing. I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, this is the. I mean, but again, in that era, you had that.
No, she should have said something because that in that situation they're not like their incest only is like the Targaryens typically, but like then Jamie and Cersei, but like that the Jamie and Cersei is not a good thing. Like nobody looks at that like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. No, nobody accepts.
That's kind of cool.
Nobody accepts it. Like everybody kind of whispers about like the possibility of that being real, and they deny it because like nobody is like they're not supposed to be doing that stuff. So
yeah.
Besides the Targaryens do that stuff on purpose. So that like for her, I was like, why are you letting your brother just touch you? But anyways, Theon pissed me off this season because it's like, bro, your freaking pride is like you're a dumbass. Like literally, his ego got in the freaking way of everything. Like you like because your dad didn't accept you. First of all, your dad sent you off in the first place. Who gives a shit about your father anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And then he doesn't give a shit about you, so you feel the need to like, I'm gonna go. Okay, so not only are you gonna go trade Robb, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go with my dad. Okay, cool, whatever, And then they give him like the small ship and go take care of the Stony Islands. Then he's like, then his crew doesn't respect him, so he's like, okay, I need to do something to make my crew respect me. Let's go take Winterfell. What do you mean, bro? Like, what is going on in your mind that your ego is just so out of whack that you have to prove yourself to every single person? Like you just feel so less than. You have to prove yourself to every single person. Like the first time I watched this, I don't want to reveal anything, but I Theon Greyjoy I kind of felt bad for. The second time now I'm rewatching it, I'm like, he deserves whatever happens to him. Like. Yeah. He like Theon pissed me off. I'm like, bro, you literally are trading like you kill most people that took care of you for your entire life. You trade on the only family that took care of you as well. Yeah. Just for a father that doesn't give a fuck about you, and for what? For a crew that doesn't care either. Like you could have you took Stony Islands and just did that, but you felt need like, you know what? I'm gonna take Winterfell. And then your sister comes to Winterfell, and she's like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about this. Like it's too far. It's too far from the ocean. Everything you did was stupid, and then you choose to stay for what reason? Anyways, I'm pissed about Theon. But anybody have any thoughts about the Greyjoys?
Yeah, I think Theon is such a weenie, and that's putting it nicely. He just he goes with the wind. That is someone that literally goes with the wind. And he's like, oh, well, Robb wants me to do this. And then, oh, dad wants me to do this. And I agree. Like his dad did not care. He was like, I'm going to go siege all this stuff with or without you. You make your choice. And he didn't even really want him there. And he went and got baptized, I guess. What that was. And like pledged fealty for no reason. But really his fealty means nothing because you're just going to go betray somebody else. And especially Sir Roderick, like you said, that was a death that really pissed me off because first of all, he like hacked it and couldn't even kill him clean. Yeah. And second off, Sir Roderick has taken care of literally all of the Stark kids, including him, and like everybody in Winterfell. So it was like, it wasn't like they were just random subjects. Like it was family. Like it was a close to home like hurt.
Theon trashed this season. He's such a traitor. Like, I mean, I get it. You weren't Ned's son. You were a prisoner, but like you were raised like his freaking son. You weren't raised like a prisoner. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like your dad is the one who gave you up to be a prisoner.
Yeah.
Like, have some balls and stand up to your dad and ride with the Starks and go like, come on. I was pissed too. I was like, man, you trash. You gonna do my boy Robb like that? Come on. Like, you're trash, man. I was so mad because of that switch. I was like, bro, you have no loyalty. Right. None. It's like, I'm like you get what you deserve. I can't wait to see him die. And I'm like, Robb says, I want his head. I am gonna take his head. Like, I want to see that. I can't wait.
I'm excited for you to see season 3.
Yeah, I cannot wait till he gets his due. Like Rob to gut him, sever it, squish it, steak it, everything, all that. Like he deserves it. Like he was just so weak. You know what I'm saying? He was just so freaking weak. Like you said, his ego, his pride. You know what I mean? Like you got that trauma. I get it. Your daddy gave you up, as a prisoner, and like but you're still trying to prove to daddy, I can be a man. I'm this and I'm that. Like, man, there was your daddy. He raised you right.
Thanks.
To make it worse, and I was upset about the whole thing too, but to make it worse, every time he made a decision, he was unsure about his decision making. So I was like, if you're gonna take over Winterfell, then at least be confident in your decisions. But every time he was just, you could tell he was questioning whether or not he was making the right decision. Bro, you're not fit to rule Winterfell. Just leave it to somebody else, do something else. But yeah,
I'm sorry, let me cut you off. Go ahead, man.
Oh, you're good. No, like once I saw that, I was like, bro, I hope something bad happens to you because man, that was terrible. Like Robb trusted him and he broke that trust. It was
like all you have to do, bro, because I understand like why he took Winterfell. Is literally the only reason he took it is because he wanted to gain respect of his crew, right? But the only reason he was disrespected because of the fat dude that was disrespecting him. I'm like, bro, just punch him in the face. Like the whole time, I'm like, punch him in the face or kill this guy because he's the one to respect you. Like gain your respect right then and there. You don't need to go do some like outstanding thing. Like just if you're choosing to go with your dad, then just do what your dad. Go take the Stony Islands and that's it. Like because the thing that sucked for him is like after everything he did, his crew still didn't respect him. Like they knocked him out. And then like even before that, his sister showed up with 20 people and was like, "Yeah, we don't care about Winterfell. This is too far from the friggin' sea." So you did all this for nothing. Like you didn't get expected recruit, and your sister didn't come with the people you thought to keep Winterfell. And then your pride and ego told you to stay, and then like so stupid, like the dumbest the dumbest situation ever, right? So he just his disloyalty pissed me off to Robb because obviously Robb's over there doing the right things, but then also the wrong things throughout the season. We'll talk about his poor decision. But like literally the war could have been won. There's so many times this war could have just been over if people weren't traitors. But this is real life, and this is just part of what happens.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, right? And so, but yeah, so Yara's interesting because she's a leader. Like she's actually a leader. She kind of is like an asshole to Theon, which understandable. Like she feels like she is the actual leader, and like she's like because I feel like Yara also kind of feels not intimidated, but like she is the girl of the family. Like traditionally, like the inheritance and all the other things come to the oldest son, and with Theon being there, it kind of threatens her position. Not too much because he's not as strong as her as far as like leadership and things she's done, but just because he's a man in that world, she's automatic like her position is threatened. But I think I understand kind of like why Yara kind of treated Theon the way she did because she wanted to be the leader. She was already leader, and she's like, you don't deserve to take what's mine just because you came back into our family. So I kind of get her perspective as well. The first time I watched that, I was like, she seems like just like an asshole for no reason. But like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I kind of see why she was acting the way she was because Theon threatens her, not existence, but like her leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak on E-Man's point about Theon and when he went to take Winterfell and when the indecisiveness. Now, I will say he's trash, but so I'm gonna speak from just like the performance aspect of it all. I think he played that role. The actor played that role in those moments so well because what Theon is struggling with is his actual, like you can see his struggle. I think so. The indecisiveness is coming from like kind of his conscience. And it's like, these are people that I was raised by and with and around. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt them, but I gotta, save face for my crew. I gotta put on this persona that I am a ruler, that I can be king and I can take over. I'm a prince, and still that ego to prove to dad that, hey, I'm this great son that you gave away and I can do this. But at the same time, he's like, man, these people are family to me. I don't want to, kill them. So that's why he looked to the guy. I don't remember his crew member who was like, no, you need to you can't just let him get away with spitting in your face. Like you gotta handle that, bro. But that's why he kept looking to that guy for approval, because it's like, do I do this or do I, not do this because I know it's the wrong thing to do, because these are people who I love because they raised me. You know what I mean?
Yep. And at the end of the day, they traded on him anyway. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they did. So it was, he made a bad decision. Either way, he was screwed. Either way.
Terrible.
You should have just rocked with the Starks, bro.
Yep. But it is what it is. Theon gets what Theon gets. So any other thoughts on the Greyjoys?
Yeah, to add on to your point about Yara, she's like, when she came up to Theon and told him like, "Hey, we need to leave," you can see that she understood from the military perspective, like this is a bad position for them to be in because they're not land fighters. They fight out at sea. That's where they're strongest. So why are they gonna be inland where there's no sea and where they can't support themselves? So you can see like she's a good leader, but she's also tactically aware.
Yeah. Yeah, Yara is definitely a smart gal. This doesn't spoil anything, but she will be back. She will be back.
You said it doesn't spoil anything, but what?
She'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Her character. Cool. So Theon, Greyjoy, and the Greyjoys, they have their own arc. Then so we're slowly going to like the main characters. I'll say this, because these two characters, there's really, I guess, three characters we could talk about here since we're moving on to. Do you guys want to go Stark or you guys want to go Lannister?
Let's do Stark.
Lannister.
Let's go Stark, because Theon goes into the Starks.
He does, but
okay, yeah,
okay. So y'all want to talk about Bran and Rickon? Or you guys want to talk about? He's not Stark, but he's still a bastard of the Starks. You talk about Jon Snow, or do we want to go into Arya and what she's doing?
Let's go with Bran and Rickon, because there's not much to say.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay.
Did y'all think, Brandon? Do you think that they were dead when you saw that? Do you think they were like that was them?
Low key.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Were you sad?
For a second.
I was.
I
shed a tear.
You did too?
I did for a second, because I was like, oh my God, because I forgot, right? So I was like, oh my God, there's no way he found them at that farm, because they didn't go, right? I know they didn't.
Yeah. At first I thought it was them. I was like, whoa, bro. Then I was like, he is trash. You're trash, bro. I was like, you're trash. You're killing babies, killing boys. Come on.
I mean, they were little. I like what they call them, the Little Lords. I love calling them that.
Yeah, the
Little Lords. But no, I mean, he had like, again, the disrespect thing. Like, they were supposed to stay, they didn't stay, so they took off, right? So I mean, I understand why they took off. But
do you remember the name of the wildling that was with her? That was with them?
Yes, I can't remember it though. Like I remember them saying it, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but like, man, I was surprised when first she slept with Theon to convince him that she's loyal to him, and then she tricked the guards, and then she helped the others escape. And I was like, that was unexpected, because she has no reason to be loyal to either side. So for her to do that, I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's lit.
Yeah, I liked that character. I could tell that she was playing him though. I knew she was playing him, and I felt like it was because she had something up her sleeve to help, Bran out, because I think she has grown to have an affection, like a kind of nurturing affection for Bran, for the Little Lords. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I knew she was up to something. I was like, yeah, she playing this dude, and she know he could be played. You know what I mean? She like she knows his weakness, and she was easily exploiting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
He's such a
just
people pleaser. So yeah.
just to back up, I didn't first time I watched it and second time I watched it. Obviously, I knew second time, but like I didn't think that was the kids. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way he killed those kids." Like even though Game of Thrones will murder whoever, they don't give a damn. Like I was like, "There's no way that's Bran and Rickon." Like, how did he find them? And I was like, "There's no way." Like I didn't believe it when I first saw it. And then obviously the season, you see like at the was it episode 9? We see like they're still alive because she's sneaking food to them. They're hiding like I think like under Winterfell, or I forget where they're at specifically. But yeah, so I wasn't really like too like weirded out by that. But I'm also like, I don't know. Rickon, like I'm like, bro, what is again? I talked about it last time, but like I'm like, what does Rickon
What's the
do?
purpose?
What's his purpose? Like this man is he's crying because he wants the walnuts. Anyway,
I think Rickon might have like a disability or something. Like mentally, I think he might be autistic because the way he was just smashing those nuts in that one episode,
yeah,
and like it's a fixation thing. Like maybe that's like one of the only things that he likes, and so I don't know. I think he might have a little dysfunction.
maybe I don't
Yeah, but
even
he's
know
still
like
unnecessary. He's still like an unnecessary character.
I remember watching show. I don't know what happens to Rickon. Like I don't like. I'm interested to see like what happens throughout the season with him specifically because I have no idea what happens to him. Like I'm like,
I can ruin it. It will spoil it. I can tell you, but it'll spoil it.
Okay, tell me later.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, do I remember what happens to Rickon? I don't. Like, I don't remember. I'm like, what purpose does he serve in this show? None. He's like you say, he's sitting being annoying, smashing things. And so, like, yeah, their storyline is kind of like, man, I don't know. Something. Bran is the most interesting, non-interesting character, in this show. It's like, what? Anyways, don't get me started on Bran. We'll talk about Bran next season. But anyway, so Bran Rickon. But let's get to my boy. We gotta get to my boy Jon Snow. So
Let's
Jon, I know Bran likes Jon too. So Jon and everybody go north of the wall. So this is the first like time we see what it looks like outside of the wall. Because all we know is Westeros, right? We know Winterfell, we know King's Landing, we know kind of the area that Daenerys is at over, other part of the sea. But it's first time I'm like, when I first watched this, man, I was like, this is so interesting to see like what's north of the wall. Because I've always been curious. I'm like, what is north? Like, what's up there? And then we find out like there's this guy named Craster who he sleeps with his daughters. His daughters have daughters, and he sleeps with his daughter's daughters, so they have more daughters. And so that was so nasty to me. Like Craster, like his character. But Jon is kind of like, I don't know. Jon's always getting to something. Like he kind of reminds me of Ned, and like how he has to be so noble all the time. Like, stop it. Like I understand. Like I understand it because like he comes from a lineage of nobility, but it's like, bro, why do you have to like? You don't have to follow him into the nighttime to figure out what the hell's going on. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like, why do you feel the need to figure out this mystery? Like, you're literally like your dad, right? Like, it's crazy. I don't know. But what do you guys think of like first before we get to like everything past Craster's house? Like, what do you guys think about the whole like Craster situation and everything that went down there?
It honestly made me hurt. He was so protective of them. He was like, don't even look at them, don't breathe next to them. Like, y'all can stay here, I guess, but like, don't touch them. I was like, that's really it was just really weird to me. And they're like, and then their Lord Commander was like, we just gotta do what he says, like he knows best and blah blah blah. But I was like, oh, does he know best though? Because all I've just seen is drunkenness and aggression.
Drunkenness and aggression.
Well, just to touch on like why he was like protective of his girls is because like I mean he doesn't want to lose them to a guy. Like all they've known is him. So like I mean imagine young girls seeing like they're not normally like good looking, but like guys that look better than your father. It's like yeah, of course they're gonna want to go, be with a different guy. So that he's like they could leave me, so therefore I need to like tell them you can't do anything. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like why he was so protective, quote unquote.
The Night's Watch been in like however long they've been at the Night's Watch.
Wait, say that again, man.
The Night's Watch, the men of the Night's Watch, they haven't seen women since they joined the Night's Watch, so they see women for the first time.
Yep.
Might be some temptation there for them.
Absolutely.
But also, they swore an oath, and they would die immediately if they started having sex.
Yeah.
These are and killers. I don't know how much they hold to their oaths.
Yeah.
Some of them will risk it for the biscuit.
I'm not, and so I couldn't say.
But we do. I mean, you see, like the Sam got to talk to a girl and fell in love. Like he talked to Gilly for 5 seconds and fell in love. Like it's crazy.
But Sam's never talked to a woman.
He's never talked to a woman in his whole life.
Yeah,
he talked to Gilly. I like Gilly. Gilly's fun.
But to add to talk about that whole thing at the casters. So for me, at first, I thought he was just like, don't mess with my daughters because, I'm a father and I don't want you messing with my daughters. You know what I mean? But then when I figured it all out, I'm like, oh, that's nasty. Yeah, you're like, you really protected because you just want to F them all. And I can't say what I want to say because, my daughter's around. But yeah, like you want to sleep with them all, and I mean, maybe he's thinking along the line, I want to keep my lineage pure, whatever, but it's still trash. It's nasty. So Jon Snow, though, look, he's noble. You're right, Savon. He's like his daddy. You know what I'm saying? He gotta do the right thing. He's gotta save him. And then Sam didn't make it easy for him, like, cause he tried. He's like, hey man, like, what are you trying to do? You trying to get us killed? Like, don't talk to her, don't look at him. Like, we can't even ask her. Like, she wants our help, and we can't ask her. Why? Like, what's happening? Give me the details before I walk into this battle defending you. And Sam is just like, oh, why'd you do that? Like he's puppy-eyed and all this. But Jon Snow is trying to be a noble, nice watchman. But then his nobility, as just a start and just a good guy kicks in, and he wants to try to help. And so he wants to know, well, what's making this guy so bad? Like, why does his daughter want to get away from him, and then he's like, his curiosity gets the best. Gets knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Well, he sees them giving the babies to the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Which I'm curious about that. It's like, if they immediately go to do the White Walkers raise the babies to their men and then turn them into White Walkers, or do they just immediately turn? Because like my thought is like, if they immediately turn these babies into White Walkers, then there's these baby White Walkers. Like there's just like these little babies like crawling around, like like you know what I mean? So like, what happens? Because it's not like they can like turn them into like adults. You know what I mean? So like, I'm curious on like what they do with the babies. It's like, do they raise them to their like of age and then like, okay, now you're a White Walker, or what happens?
So I still need, like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's gonna be revealed later because I feel like they have to, get more in depth about the White Walkers. But if it doesn't ruin it for me, are they actual humans? Because to me, in that one episode where you saw him walk by, and I think that was Jon Snow that was behind the rock or whatever.
No, that was Sam. That was Sam.
Sam. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Sam was behind the rock, and he sees them walking by. Like, they just look like spirits. They look like dead spirits. But
those are all the dead bodies.
Well, they show how they made the White Walkers at a later season. I forgot which.
Right,
well, I mean, no, they showed it in the first season. Like you saw the dead body that they had that tried to kill the Lord Commander and Jon Stark. Like it's just all it is a dead body that gets reawoke. It's like a zombie essentially.
I was talking about the first White Walker.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But
the White Walkers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're dead. So they're just dead people, but they're not just actual. Like they're not.
No,
I mean,
dead.
okay, it's just they're just dead people, zombies. Okay, that's the best way.
They're dead people. Like they're dead people. That's why they're always like. So moving on with the situation, they move north. But like one of like the wildlings that they meet along the way is Ygritte. But that's why Ygritte's like, don't shake your head. Ygritte's fantastic. Don't do that. Don't do that to Ygritte. We'll talk about Ygritte. But that she's like, burn the bodies. And he's like, no, I'm not burning the bodies because of the fire. But she's not telling him to burn the bodies because of the fire, because she wants to alert her friends. It's literally because if they don't burn the bodies, they're going to turn into White Walkers.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm curious on like what they do with the babies. It's like, are they raising these babies to be adults and then turn them into White Walkers? Or like,
or do they kill?
Are there going to be like this army of like dead babies just like crawling around everywhere? Like that's there's so much stuff that by the way, that question, Brendan, never gets revealed, just so you know. So like that's really? I'm not spoiling anything, but it never gets revealed. So there's so many things with the show. Like there's like that like they'll touch on throughout the seasons and they just forget about it for some reason. So I don't know. I never understand like what happens with these babies. I wish I'd know, but that's an untold question.
It's funny.
But
okay.
anyways,
I don't think when I first watched it, I even realized that he was taking them to the White Walkers. I thought he was just dropping a baby off in the forest just because he didn't want it to be found out about.
No, he's given it's a sacrifice.
Okay, yeah.
But if he's been doing it for years, then it makes sense. Like there might be like some White Walker kids, some White Walker adults like that who are Craster's kids, they're men. And he just kind of fed the White Walker army.
Yeah, his old nasty ass, you know.
But so that happens. And if anybody's any more comments, feel free to chime in. But we see them continue to march after everything goes down to Craster. Craster kicks them out. They continue to march north to go find Mance Rayder, who is the quote unquote king in the north of the Wildlings, or as they call themselves, the Free People. And so we see them like they split apart, go into this like raiding party where Jon Snow and what's the guy's name?
I forgot.
I literally just watched this. Half Hand, Corrin Halfhand. This a group of people go and on this search for Mance Rayder. They capture a couple of wildlings. One of the wildlings we get introduced to is Ygritte, who, fun fact, Jon Snow, who's played by Kit Harington, in real life is married to the actress that plays Ygritte.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they met, was through the show. But Ygritte's funny. Ygritte is I love being introduced to Ygritte because like she's one of my favorite characters in this season. And like her saying, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." I was like, "Oh man, this is just memories of Ygritte." But she's such a like perfect contrast to Jon, because she's just like bold, she's brash, she says what the hell is on her mind, she's trying to entice them to have sex with her. Like it's so funny, like of like her character, even though she's captured, she's still like kind of leading him because he kind of needs to be led. Like Jon Snow is like he has no ability, but he still kind of needs to be led a little bit. And it's like her character kind of like getting him out of his like shell of like, oh yeah, this is just I'm Jon, and you know I'm a man of the wall or whatever. So what were y'all's thoughts of like everything happening going north and then Ygritte being introduced in the show?
I like Ygritte. For me, she was.
Pierre doesn't like her based off her face.
She was a fun and interesting character too. She's smart, you know. I felt like she's very smart, you know what I mean? Cunning as heck. Like and she was, like you said, she was telling him like, "Hey, man, like you need to burn these bodies," you know. And of course, John is thinking like, "Oh, so your people will see and know that I'm here, and you're gonna it's a signal, a smoke signal." No, fool. So they don't come back to life and kill us all, you know. Um, like, and I like how she was pulling out all the stops to try to get away. You know what I mean? Um, and she eventually did, obviously, and threw it in his face. But I did like that moment where she's like, "It's gonna be cold. You're gonna freeze before I do." And then he finally decides to cuddle up with her, and then she starts doing that thing that gets a lot of us in trouble. Start moving that thing back a little bit, you know, I'm just trying to get comfortable. Oh, I didn't notice. You know what I mean? So she was trying to get him to have sex with her, you know, and
That's funny.
but she was using, I mean, I think still was a tactic, you know, to try to, you know, get away ultimately too. You know what I mean? Um, so I liked her. She was fun, she was funny, you know, she was interesting, and like I think she was well written too. I'm interested to see what else, you know, happens further, you know.
Tiara, I feel like you have such. So you have no. Amen. Pause. I feel like
Go
Tiara
ahead.
has something she wants to say. She's been making every time I've been to Ygritte, she made a face. So what do you guys say, Tiara?
I don't have too much to say because honestly, like I skipped a lot of that section of it because I don't know. I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, sure, lead us to the like, wildling troops or whatever, but all that in between stuff, that relationship kind of really didn't need to happen. So
It did.
just not really good. Like, yes,
It
she's
did.
funny, stunning, but
It did. I don't want to ruin anything for Brendan, but it did.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like, no, I mean, just looking at it and knowing, well, just looking at it again from just the perspective of, you know, my history and understanding of, you know, climactic journeys and just well written script. I feel like the way that was written, I felt like there is something more to this. Like I could feel it. I was like, this is written because something else is gonna happen. Like this is the setup for something.
I
So
can't
don't ruin
confirm.
it for me.
I can't confirm nor deny that statement, bro.
Yeah, well, I can feel it. But I feel like it's purposeful, Tierra. I don't know. But I get you. I respect you.
You don't like the build up, Tiara?
no, I was not interested.
He was not interested.
I want to come back to that. I want to come back to this comment in a couple more seasons.
Okay.
But anyways, so yeah, so Ygritte, sorry, E-Man, I cut you off, but what you have to say?
Yeah, no, I like to add on to what you guys are saying. It was funny, it was great, but I respected her because John was supposed to kill her, but ended up not killing her, obviously. And then whenever the Wildlings caught them, then they were gonna kill John, and she was like, "No, Mance would want to talk to him," so she saved him from dying too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my little add on to that. But I respect her for saving him, saying doing the same thing he did for her.
Yeah,
True that. True that.
I mean, obviously, he was attracted to her. He didn't kill her, and then like she was making her like her seductive things, and he was like, oh, like the rope's getting pretty close here. Like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, anyways, John pissed me. John doesn't do like he starts anyway. We'll see.
No, you can't stop that. What were you gonna say?
No, because the first 2 seasons so far, what has John done?
Nothing.
He's been a lackluster character these first 2 seasons. Does he get better? We'll see. But first 2 seasons, he's been lackluster. And he's like, John, what are you doing with your life, bro? Like you were, anyways. So we'll continue to watch the trajectory of Jon Snow, but like he's just, I'm like, bro, what? Anyway,
Okay,
that's my thought every time I watch Jon Snow. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what's your purpose, like John? But anyway, what are you about to say, Brandon?
But I'll say, I mean, and of course, don't ruin anything for me. But you guys know what the end of his journey looks like. I don't. But here's what I feel like. I feel like especially in the second season, he's still trying to find his way. He's like trying to find himself. find his purpose as a night watchman. Like, so yeah, he appears lackluster because he's trying to find his identity, he's trying to prove his worth, and all of that. So like, I think he's still on he's still in the baby stage of his journey and his growth.
I agree. He is. Everything you said is absolutely true.
Yeah.
It still just annoys me. I'm like, bro, what are you doing with your life? That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, figure yourself out. Figure your life out, buddy. Like, get to it. Like, we need Jon Snow. Cause for me, when I first watched this show, like I didn't know anything besides people talking about Jon Snow. I was like, okay, people talk about Jon Snow character all the time, and like when I first watched this for the first time, I literally was like the first 2 seasons. I'm like, this nigga ain't done nothing. And I'm like, what am I watching? He's done nothing. So
he ain't killed nobody. He ain't taking over no territory.
Couldn't kill a basic wildling. I'm like, come on, bro. And then she runs away, and then he gets captured. When he got captured, like that just pisses me off right now. And when he got captured, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you've done nothing, now you get captured. Like, you're a dumbass. Like, anyways, that's Jon Snow, man. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Like, literally, it's that quote is in my mind all the time. But we spent a lot of time on Jon. So yeah, so obviously we see the Wildlings up north, and we're starting to see like more of like what it looks like beyond the wall. We saw the army that is the White Walkers walking across, which is so interesting because it looked at Sam and then kept on walking, right? I think it looked at Sam. Did it look at Sam?
Yeah, it did. And I was wondering, like, did it see him or not?
Yeah. So like I was like, oh, that's so weird. Like, why they keep on walking? So maybe Sam's just not a threat, I guess. I wouldn't be scared of Sam either.
Yeah. Sam ain't scary.
Yeah, he's
scaring nobody.
So let's talk about Arya, right? So we have 2 of the girls, in to the Stark women. Arya she went from capital to like being picked up by that random guy. I forgot his name, but he was like a guy that was he was at the wall, and then he's like trying to help her escape. There's a fight that goes down. They're trying to find like it's kind of stupid too, like how Arya gets not caught, but like how like she gets like taken again is because Joffrey is like, I'm killing all of the Baratheon bastards, right? Mm-hmm. And so like then the army knows that this guy has Gendry, so they send an army guy to get Gendry, and then everybody dies there, and then she gets captured, and they go. Anyways, it's just so her story arc is interesting too, because it's like, what are you doing? Like where are you trying to go? Like, where is she trying to go? I think she's trying to go back to Winterfell, or she went to the wall.
Yeah,
she's trying to
get back home.
Okay, but I'm like her like season 2 for her. I was so confused. Like, I was like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to go back home to Winterfell, or like, are you trying to go to the wall? Like, what's the purpose here? And like, I think that's kind of like, I almost said something, but that's I think she just wants to go home. Like, and that makes sense. But I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on Arya, or anything we'll talk about with Arya's character? I really don't have much to talk about with her character, other than like maybe her in a relationship with Tywin. But anything you guys want to talk about for Arya?
Her relationship with who?
Tywin.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she's smart. Like, whenever they killed everyone and they say, "Hey, we're looking for Gendry."
Yes, and that's what I was about to talk about.
The helmet. She was like, "Well, you already killed them." But we know Gendry was like standing to her left, so she's quick on her feet as far as thinking. And then like whenever Tywin picked her up, he knows like, hey, she's smart. But Tywin said it himself, like she's a little bit too smart for herself, and she almost got herself in trouble a couple times.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say too. Like, she's smart, and like I still love her character. You know what I mean? She's a feisty little scrapper. You know what I mean? She's smart. I'm very excited about seeing her growth and like where she ends up, because like I feel like there's something big that's gonna happen with her. You know what I mean? I hope I'm not disappointed, but I feel like there's something big gonna happen with her. But she's very smart. Like, she's a smart kid. You know what I mean? Because to think, on a spot like that, okay, she heard about the helmet. She knew they was looking for, his helmet, the guy with the helmet. And she saw that, and she's like, yeah, you already killed him. You already got him. Like, Like she's quick on her feet. And when Littlefinger came to see Tywin, she was being very, very careful not to be recognized. I think he did recognize her and didn't
That's what
say
I was gonna
anything.
ask. I was gonna ask that question.
I think he recognized her, but just didn't say anything. Like, especially when I watched it, yesterday, it's just like I think he noticed it and then he just kind of let it ride, because he always got something up his sleeve.
Are you sure though? Because here's why I asked that
I'm
question.
not. I'm not sure.
No,
I just
because
think,
because I was curious on that too. Because the first time I watched it, I didn't think he noticed, but then the second time I watched it, not that anything he did, but before the door closes, he talks about like having the two sisters captured. But then, like, what made me think like, did he like tell Tywin that that's Arya? Is like Tywin's kind of he's always questioning like who she was, and then he's telling her like because she keeps on saying I think he says my lady or something like that, and he's like if it's like he's trying to like teach her how to he's like if you're gonna pretend to be a commoner, you need to say it this way or something like that to those lines, and if you're gonna pretend to be a commoner, not a noble person, you need to use like these words or whatever, and that's when she says, "Oh, my dad or my mom was a servant to some lady." But I guess that's what made me think about it. I'm like, does Tywin know that's Arya? Or did he just think like this is some noble girl that's pretending to be a commoner? You know what I mean? That was why.
No, Tywin doesn't know, but Littlefinger, I think he kind of figures it out because when she walked by, he kind of turns around and takes tries to see her face again. Yeah. So I think Littlefinger figured it out, but he couldn't think of a plan fast enough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying Tywin.
No, I'm saying I thought Littlefinger told Tywin.
Oh, you thought
like you have Arya.
Yeah, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like Littlefinger didn't figure it out because she kept like turning from him. So I don't think he got her face clearly. But I think Tywin did figure it out. But I think he was just like accepting it because he knows Joffrey and he knows what will happen if he takes her. So he's probably just like, I'm gonna just let her be a little cupbearer here and that'll be fine.
I don't know.
He knows where she's at. He knows where she's at too.
Yeah.
Like I know where Arya's at. She's at Harrenhal.
Yeah.
Wait, who said that?
Could use that as a bargaining piece for what's his son's name?
Jamie.
Who?
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, because at that time they had Jamie, so he could have used that as a bargaining piece. Like, hey, I have your daughter. Your other daughter's in King's Landing. I can give you both for Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Or yeah, if he knew, why wouldn't he leverage that?
Maybe they already have Sansa. Like, what do you mean? They have Sansa already. Like, what do you want to do? Like, if you know that that's Arya. Like, if you mentally that's Arya, and she's at Harrenhal, then you have her captive. Like, where's she gonna go?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't. Like, you asked when he said that. He didn't say that. I'm just speculating.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think Littlefinger. Just my thought. I think Littlefinger figured it out. I think he did see enough of her to be like, that's Arya, or at least be like, that looks like Arya. And he just didn't say anything. Like Email was saying, he couldn't think of a plan quick enough.
Side note, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think he's too greedy for that. I think he would have been like, "Oh, this is my chance," because Arya's right here, and he would have told him immediately. That's just what I think. I think he's too greedy to keep that to himself.
I was gonna say, side note, you like calling him Littlefinger instead of Baelish? You like calling him Littlefinger?
I can't remember. I couldn't remember his name. I can't ever remember his name, his last name, Baelish or person, whatever. It's Lord Baelish. Yeah.
Littlefinger sounds so weird. I'm like, bro, call him Baelish.
There's a reason
Yeah. Well, cool. So that's who we talking about there? Arya. I loved her dynamic with Tywin though. Like them talking back and forth, the banter. Like she's so smart. That's fun. But my favorite, like another one of my favorite characters is Jack and Hagar. I just love the way he talks. He's like a man needs a name. And he's like, a girl,
Yeah.
a girl goes and I like literally, it's just the funniest thing to talk like him. He's like, I so that's Jack and Hagar. Is one of my favorite characters, bro. I remember the first time I watched this, I was like, I need more Jack and Hagar in this show.
Yeah.
A man cannot do a thing before it's time for it to be done.
A girl opens the door for a man.
Literally.
A man knew that the boy was a girl.
He's funny.
But they also, so what's cool too is the season ends with her being invited to Bravos, right? And so we see Bravos appear again because her teacher in season 1 was from Bravos, and then Jack and Hagar is from Bravos as well. And he talks about the man of many faces, and so I that's interesting dichotomy as well of like, what does Bravos entail? They brought up twice. I'm assuming they're gonna probably have it come up in some of the different seasons. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And seeing like what she does with that knowledge and how Arya's trajectory from here and like going to go find her family and get back to Winterfell. So that's Arya. Sansa, I mean, if you guys want to talk about Sansa, we can. Her situation doesn't really change. Like she's stuck in the castle. That's pretty much it. Like she's stuck in the castle. Like there's nothing really that happens for her.
Well, at the end, she escapes with the Hound.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really. I mean, do you feel like that's a big point of the season?
To an extent, because like now, the Lannisters, or I guess it doesn't. Or yeah, as at this point, the Lannisters don't have any bargaining chips. I guess like they lost Arya, and then they lost Sansa.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, you said she escapes with the Hound. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, that's yes, correct. But I don't know. Sansa is her character is like, it's kind of interesting too because like you see her starting to like be more of a rebel. Like she's like I hate the king, and I'm like thank you, thank you for finally saying this because you've been like pretending to be this girl that like loves this boy that's a terrorist, and and like finally she's like I hate him. Like he treats her terribly. He killed her father. Season 2, she like he puts her father on the freaking spike. I think that was season 2. But she put her father's head on the spike, and she's like, "Look at your father up there," and he's beating the guy like with the wine. Tries to kill the guy with the wine, like, and he's just like we'll get to Joffrey, but yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the season, she's like she formally was engaged to the prince. Like that was like her only like calling card. Like okay, I'm gonna be a queen. But now it's like no, that's it. That's going too. Like Marjorie Tyrell is stepping in. And you're just kind of like this girl that is just there. With no,
but she was happy to lose the crown. It felt like.
I mean, yes, but now you have no bargaining in the kingdom. Like what's your bargaining chip now?
Yeah.
You mean
why do we keep you alive? Like, what's the purpose of us keeping you alive?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
That's why she escapes. I mean, that's why she runs away with the Hound. But yeah, so
but I do like the fact that she does get to that point where she is no longer like looking at okay, I'm going to be queen and Godfrey's the best thing alive. She realizes like he's trash, and like you said, he is a freaking tyrant. He's evil, and now she doesn't want to be in that place because she knows what he's about and how he is. So I do like the fact that now she's gotten to a place where she's getting a little bit, like you say, rebellious, and she has a little bit of courage, and she's not such a, I don't know what word to describe it, but she's just not so naive.
Yeah. So Sansa's character is interesting, and that leads us to the last two Starks. We're gonna talk about Robb, but Catelyn, I didn't realize how much trouble Catelyn had brought until this rewatching it. She just does the dumbest stuff, like the dumbest stuff. She's like So Robb's trying to go he's like, I'll go around this bridge. She's like, no, we need to go through this bridge. So that means you need to go marry this Frey girl. So it gets Robb engaged to this Walder Frey's daughter, right? That's a problem. And then she's like, let's go of Jaime Lannister, right? She's like, okay, I need my daughters back. Let me let go of Jaime Lannister. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's the? I don't understand what you're doing. Like, she was just acting on her own accord. Like, finally Robb figured it out. He was like, I was like, send her home. Send her ass home. Like, why is she there? What purpose? What purpose did Catelyn Stark serve? She did give some battle advice, but like the advice she gave him, the advice wasn't good. So I'm like, what purpose does she serve? Anyway, any thoughts on Catelyn Stark before we get to Robb?
Not too much.
I agree with you. She almost setting her son up for failure. Like, we win in the war. What are you doing? Like, yeah.
The biggest bargaining chip they had was Jaime Lannister.
You say that again, because you got glitchy.
I said the biggest bargaining chip they had was Jaime Lannister.
Oh, hell yeah. She was foolish. Like, I mean, but it's just that mother's heart, you know what I mean? Like, she felt like she needed to, like, but it was a bad move when you talk about a battle and war, you know. So,
wait, it was season 2 where they go to Walder Frey? Or season 1?
It was season 1.
Season 1.
Okay. I got
when you think about it, she did that twice. So first with Tyrion and then with Jaime. Like, she just does not understand what she's putting her hands on.
Yeah. She did do that in season 1 with Tyrion. Yep. Yeah, she's a soft-hearted woman, you know what I mean? She
pisses me off, bro. Like, literally, she pisses me off. Like, I'm like, what is your purpose here? What, like, why are you in battle? What are you doing out here? Go home. She mentioned it multiple times. She's like, I need to go back home to Brandon Rickon. Go back home.
Go.
What are you doing here? Like, you're not aiding anybody. Like, you did aid your son a couple times, but like, I'm like, just let it go. Really. Not really, exactly. Like, and so Catelyn Stark just is unneeded, unnecessary. And I'm realizing this now. I'm like, season 1, first time I watched this, I was like, I didn't really realize it. Now I'm like, Catelyn Stark is like you said, season 1. Catelyn Stark is the reason why all this is going down the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Robb, my boy Robb, bro, my favorite character in the show. My boy Robb. He's a real one, bro. Hasn't lost a battle, right? Doing everything right, and if he hadn't listened to his mom about Walder Frey, the man could have married Talisa. Who's a baddie? He's a baddie. Like,
bro.
Like, but he's dumb because he knows he can't do it, but he's listening to the wrong head, and he's like, I want to marry this Talisa girl because I love her, and I'm not gonna marry Walder Frey. And I was like, come on, bro. Like, you can't do this.
Gosh, but you can't marry for love in this time period. It just doesn't work.
Well, hey, man. Can't hate the man. He's trying to marry for love and, you know, and the good qualities that she had, you know, but
she was a great gal. I mean, Talisa, like, she's a perfect woman for him. But the thing is, you have a arrangement because like, you promised yourself to marry this Frey girl. Like, you literally could just marry the Frey girl and just have Talisa. That's what most kings do.
Just put it off to the side, like, hey, you're only the showcase.
Walder Frey has like 4 wives. I broke out. I probably cut off again. But Walder Frey has like 4 wives.
Yeah, he does.
So it's like,
his daughters too.
So. Or no? Yeah, maybe I forget. But
I think they are. I feel like they are. I
No,
think he
I think his
married.
daughters are ugly. I think it's like he's trying to marry off his daughters. His daughters are ugly.
Well, he's
Oh.
ugly and old, so.
I know he has a really young wife. Like he marries like young girls, even though he's like 80 years old. Okay.
Well, that was the one time his mom did give him sound advice. Is like, your promise to the Frey's daughter. You shouldn't do this. That was the one time she gave him good advice.
Yeah, and he just married for love. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He should marry for love, Savant.
Not in period. Not in this time.
No, you can't. I mean, he said like you said, he set himself up for failure. You know what I'm saying? When you do
it's
that.
not. I mean, he's still successful. Like he's winning battles. It's just like you have like what's gonna happen with Walder Frey? Like what happens when you have to come back across the bridge and go see Walder Frey? Like are you gonna be like, hey, I married this girl, F you, or are you gonna get 2 wives? Like what's gonna happen?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about Robb. No, I'm not gonna bring that up because I might ruin something. I was gonna talk about Roose Bolton, but we'll talk about that soon. So that's Robb Stark. Stark family is kind of interesting. Catelyn's just terrorist too. I don't like. I officially don't like Catelyn anymore. Like I literally am like, bro, she's the worst. She's terrible. That moves us to before we get to the Lannisters. We'll touch on Daenerys, and we'll wrap up in the next 20 minutes. But Daenerys Targaryen, she's over in the Red Keep. Her husband's dead. She no longer has her Dothraki army. They're dying. They go to Qarth. She gets her dragons taken by the only black guy that has a prominent role in the show so far, which I hated. I'm like, okay, yeah, the black guy takes her dragons. Wow.
I know.
Wow. So hey, look, it's been happening since the beginning of time. We've been getting the shaft.
Yeah, but the whole time, I did feel like I was like, what is this dude's problem? Was it Xander? Zara Xander? I forgot to say his full name. Yeah, but I'm like, something's weird about this guy. Like that thing just felt like right. Like he got her to come into the play to Qarth, and like he's befriending her the whole time. He like offers the marriage or off the bat, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. This is moving pretty quickly, and so I don't know, that whole situation was kind of like interesting, like how like it went from her dragons getting took to her going to like the Hall of the Undead and like the whole Khal Drogo like hallucination and her figuring it out, and then like she's like telling her dragons to like breathe fire. I guess it's kind of just like, okay, she now has control of the dragons type of situation, kind of setting that up. I don't know, but like her in season 2 was kind of just weird to me. Like she wasn't really prominent because of everything going on with like King's Landing, but like I don't know. I just feel like Dany in season 2 was like meh.
Yeah, I think Qarth was off the whole time. I think the vibe was weird. I think the council was weird.
Yeah,
like I don't know, like the like sickly looking one, the like warlock guy creeped me out a lot.
Lips.
Yes, with the blue lips. And like he was like, can I demonstrate? Like trying to touch her. I would not have let him touch me. I was like, he's gonna put a hex on her, like something's gonna go bad. But I think the whole thing was off, and that black guy was very creepy.
Yeah, it did move fast. Like I didn't suspect him though. Like as it was happening when I first watched it. I mean, I don't even think I really caught it the second time I watched it yesterday. But
how did you not catch it? He literally said, "I'm king of Qarth."
Huh?
Do you not remember them? Like the 13 being in the circle, and then like the warlock's like, I talked to the king. I stole your. He said I took your dragons, and like the warlock's like, yeah, we're gonna take over. And then he's like, I'm the king of Qarth, and then he kills the 13.
The warlock does, right?
No, well, the black guy, Zara Xander Doxa, so whatever his name is.
They were in it together.
I missed that. I mean, because you
must have missed the scene because it was a full scene about him admitting like this whole plot. Okay,
well, yeah, I must have, because I was when I was rewatching it last night. I definitely was dozing off. But I agree. Like when he asked her to marry him, I was like, where the heck does this come from? So it was a real it was weird, but to me it was just like, I don't know, he seemed like this guy who he could have whatever he wanted. He wanted her because, she had the dragons or whatever. Like I didn't feel like he wanted to marry her for a reason, like other than some type of, self gain. Um, but for me, the one who was I didn't like him was the original one who came to the gate. I don't remember his name, the fat one.
Yeah. He didn't give a name because he said my name is too long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he annoyed me, but in a sense that the actor played his character well, so I was annoyed by him just because, like, bruh, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so mean? Like, y'all, if I remembered correctly, they wanted her to come. They wanted to welcome her. At least that's how it seemed.
Well, only because they knew she had dragons.
Dragons, right?
Yeah, so he was literally like, "Show me your dragons."
Yeah.
Which I don't know why Dany felt the like disrespected by being asked to show your dragons. Like she was like, "I'm not showing my dragons." Like literally, just show one dragon, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, come on in."
Yeah, that too. I was like, just show them the dragon. I mean, they just want to see that you have it. But
yeah.
But I can kind of see her point, because what if she like took it out and then all those dudes with spears were there and they could have just stabbed them down right there and took the dragons.
True.
So I can understand her caution.
Good point. Yeah. But I agree to some extent that in season 2 she was just not a prominent character. She, we didn't get a lot of her story like we were getting in season 1. But I still feel like she is going to rise and take over some stuff.
I mean, you saw it ended well. Like the fact that she can control her dragons and like your cars, and like they just breathe fire, kind of touches on like her ability to control the dragons now. So she is officially the mother of dragons. You've been quiet. Any thoughts? I know we're a little bit over time right now, but any thoughts?
Yeah. So I liked her growth from season 1 to season 2, because in season 1 she was afraid to speak up. Season 2 she's more like, I'm the queen. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was like I was kind of annoyed because she was in no position to threaten them or anything. But she kept making the claim like, I'm the queen of the Iron Throne, queen of Westeros. I have the mother of dragons, but it's like her dragons are still babies. She has no army. She has no money. So she, at this point, she has the claim, but she has nothing. So she's making blank threats to that guy with the long name. And she, it was annoying me because she was talking like she had everything, but she had nothing.
Yeah. Other than she knows her worth, bro.
She does know worth.
She knows her worth, and she knows what she's going to be. She knows who she is. She's gonna rise and take it over. She is going to get the Iron Throne.
She said it herself. Like, if they turn her away, then they're gonna die. But then the guy says, "All right, well, have fun." And she says, "Well, when I come back, I'm gonna kill you. I'll kill all of you." It was like, but you just said you're gonna turn around, you're gonna die.
Yeah. She definitely makes a ton of like threats. If you don't comply with her, she's threatening your life. Like when they open the door, she's like, "I'll come back with my dragon and burn this place down." So if you don't comply with Dany, she's definitely gonna threaten your ass. But cool. And so again, we're over time. I don't want us to go super long, but we've been 2 hours in now. So just to wrap up, I do want to talk about the Lannisters. Is there anybody? We don't have to go like each character by character, but is there any specific like Lannister character that you want to talk about? Whether it be Joffrey, whether it be Tyrion, whether it be Cersei, Tywin. Anybody want to go first? Any Lannisters to wrap up with?
Definitely got to talk about Tyrion. That man saved us. And that speech, the Battle of the Blackwater, that was one of my favorite parts in the whole show. Like, just watching it, because like, he's an imp. He's disrespected the whole time. For that one moment, he got the troops fired up, and he saved the city long enough for Tywin to come in and finish everything. But yeah, Tyrion. And then when he slapped Joffrey,
Oh, oh.
Then
Now I just slapped the king. What? Now what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I think Tyrion put out a lot of fires as he was instructed to do by his dad. He was very needed because Joffrey was doing whatever the hell he wanted to. Um, and then also he's just very smart, like the way he played the council by being like, "Oh, I'm gonna send the daughter off here, or I'm gonna send her off here to see who he could really trust and find out who was telling Cersei what." I thought that was genius.
Yo, like this is what I've been saying. This is what I'm saying. He is witty. He knows his strength. He knows how to use his intellect. And like he's been doing stuff in this season. And like, yo, that's my man. He knows how to use his strength and his wits because he knows his disadvantage, so his weaknesses, and he just knows how to use his strengths very well. And he's like controlling things in a way that you wouldn't expect from a dwarf or an imp. And he just finds courage in the right times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you see some times where he's wise enough to be like, okay, I'm this high, I can't be in this situation. You know, like when they was walking Joffrey back to the castle or whatever, and the peasants were trying to attack him. You know, you can see him like, okay, we got to get out of this situation. Or I'm gonna die. I might get stumped on. But when he has to stand up and rise to the occasion, he does, and he does it all from here. His smarts, his wittiness, like I love it. He is my all-time favorite character right now. Like,
I'll say you have a little bit of man crush there, buddy.
Yeah.
bro, like he's my favorite character.
You know, one thing that had me dead was when Cersei was like, "Oh, I have the girl that you love," and brought out the wrong girl. I was crying. That was so funny. That was so funny to me.
I thought it was gonna be Shay though. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Me too. I thought it was gonna be her too.
Because Cersei wants to hurt him.
Yeah, she does.
Really, really bad.
But he knew that though. That's what I'm saying. Like he is playing chess. You know, he's a couple steps ahead. You know what I'm saying?
But you saw him run back to the house. He thought he was like, man. But here's the thing too. I think Cersei figured Shay out at the end. Like when they were in that like chamber, and she was like, in 10 years you went from like whatever to the handmaiden to this person without learning how to curse it. Like I think she figured out like somebody put you here, and it's probably Tyrion.
Yeah.
She was being annoying down there, all drunk and stuff, picking on Sansa. I was like, whatever, bro. What are you doing?
Little dove. Come here, little dove. But yeah, Cersei's character, I mean, she wasn't as menacing this season because like Joffrey took the stage with everything. Like Joffrey, beating the crap out of that girl. What is it? I don't know what she is, I guess.
Prostitute.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. You didn't want to say that.
The word I was thinking started with a W, and I was like, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they were.
Yeah, but yeah, that's cleaner. That's a cleaner word to use. Yeah, that was so weird. Like him, like wanting her to beat the crap out of her, and just like everything he's doing. Like I'm like, you're just a little menace, bro. Like no, you've never had anybody tell you no. That's why I appreciate Tyrion slapping the piss out of him sometimes. He needs that because like nobody's telling him no. Like his mom's just like feeding him whatever he wants, and she's like, he's gonna do whatever he wants to. Like he ordered all the Baratheon kids to die because he's like, I don't want anybody to kind of try to take my crown or my namesake,
What's crazy is just the contrast between him and his brother and sister. Like, given they're still very young, but like he is just like a little Tasmanian devil. And even Cersei herself said, maybe this is punishment for our sins, me and Jaime and stuff. I was like, you know what? That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Joffrey is evil one. Tywin, I love Tywin. He's like, I don't like, of all Lannisters, I love Tywin. Jaime this season too, I will say he was less hateable, to me at least. I don't know, Brandon. I know Brandon really hates Jaime, but this season, like Jaime was like, he was less hateable in the season to me.
Well, he didn't do much. He got captured and that was it.
Yeah, but he was just being witty. Like he was like he killed his cousin, killed the dude's son. And then he's been like him and Brienne of Tarth in their journey to King's Landing. He's just been like just funny, like talking to her and like he's like, "Oh, you a woman? You a man?" It's like all these different things is like messing with her. I don't know. He's been less of a asshole this season, I feel like. But any thoughts on the other Lannisters before we wrap?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I like Tywin. Like he has this this persona, like you can see his wisdom and his strength, like that military strength. So like his leadership, I think is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And just his wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like when he came back from wherever he was coming, I don't remember. And they were torching all the prisoners. Trying to get that information out of them. He's like, why are these prisoners not in their cells? Why are they all out here like this? And then he's talking about how, like, so you're just gonna get rid of some well-able bodies that we could use, and I like him because also when we see him with Arya, like you were mentioning before, just the banter and the talks, like he still had. It reminded me of what I thought Ned was doing for Theon. Even though Arya's a prisoner, but he's treating her almost like his own daughter, and teaching her.
Yeah. What I will say about Tywin is I liked him a lot more after that Arya interaction. But what I really like about him is that he has power. Like, and you can tell he has power, and he doesn't feel the need to show that he has power because you just know it. Like it just exudes from him, and like everyone knows, like, oh, I'm not gonna mess with Tywin Lannister at all, and like he doesn't act any type of way because of it either.
Yeah. I agree with that statement so much here because like you hear like Arya going back and forth with him, and like there's one thing I forgot what she said to him. Oh yeah, she's talking about stonemasons. And then he was like, I haven't met too many stonemasons that can read. And she was like, how many stonemasons have you met? And he was like, watch yourself, girl. And I was like, that's how you flex your power. It's like you don't gotta tell people, but it's like, hey, understand like who you're talking to. Like, I'm Tywin. Like, you don't talk to me any type of way. Like, I like that. I like the regard. Like, I still don't like Lannisters, Jaime, Cersei, none of them. But like Tywin, I respect Tywin. So,
yeah,
as the patriarch. But,
yeah. I mean, for that reason, I do like them, but I don't like them because they dirty. But but I do want to say, just a side note, and I didn't tell you this in the on the last podcast or after Savant. So Tywin is the same. He's a character in that other show I was telling you need to watch, Rabbit Hole.
Okay.
He's a character there in that show.
Nice.
He's a strong character in that show too. So
nice. Yeah, Marjorie Tyrell, she's in the show Tudors. If you guys ever seen that show, it's about King Henry and the 6 wives. She played Anne Boleyn. That's why I first saw her, and I was like, oh, like literally the first time I watched the show, I was like, Anne Boleyn, because I've seen the Tudors before I watched this show. So I love medieval stuff. But Tudors is really good too. If you like King Henry and England and stuff like that. But that season, so that's a wrap up of season 2, our recap reaction. We already talked about our thoughts of season 2. Like all you guys like season 1 before, or season 1 more than season 2. But my last question is for Brendan White. What do you think, or what are you excited? I guess all you guys, but Brendan White, what are you excited for in season 3?
All right, I'm glad you started with me because my battery on my phone is about to die. Look, I'm excited. I'm excited to see, what's gonna happen, with Jon Snow. He's one of my favorites. And Tyrion, I want to see what happens with him next. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited to see Robb, come to his own and like really. Somebody needs to put Godfrey out, and somebody needs to put Theon out. And I'm hoping that's going to happen in season 3. But so I'm excited to see what happens to Theon for sure. I want to see Robb's journey, throughout this battle. Does he keep winning or does he, come to a losing point? I want to see Cersei, what happens with her, because she seems like she's kind of realizing her son is a tyrant and she kind of don't like rock with it a little. I want to see what happens there. And then I'm excited to see what happens with Arya too. So I'm looking forward to season 3. Can't wait. Watch it once I get settled next week into my new spot, and then I can't wait to talk about it.
E-Man, Tiara, anything you guys excited for season 3 that doesn't reveal anything?
I'm just excited for Arya now that she's out of there and seeing what else is gonna pop up on this journey.
I'm excited for Tyrion. Like, what's his role coming out of it with Tywin becoming the Hand King? Seeing what Tyrion does after this.
I'm excited for Brandon's reaction to season 3.
Yeah,
that's what I'm excited for. So,
all right, well, I can't wait. That excites me. That tells me some good stuff about to happen in season 3.
Things take off in season 3.
Okay, great.
Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You guys want to keep the same emoji, or what emoji you want to do this time?
I'll keep the same emoji.
Crazy eyes. Crazy eyes. All right. So if you made it this far, drop a crazy eyes emoji in the comments. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in to the episode of Coffee with Friends.